South Africa has been plunged into a period of intense upheaval as political tensions reach unprecedented levels following a shocking discovery that has stunned the nation and left political insiders scrambling for answers. What began as a routine police inspection has escalated at astonishing speed into one of the most explosive political scandals in the country's democratic era. According to sources close to the investigation, police officers uncovered substantial amounts of cash hidden in secret compartments inside President Cyril Ramaphosa's private residence, a revelation insiders have described as both disturbing and unprecedented. The discovery followed a confidential tip-off regarding suspicious financial activities linked to high-ranking individuals within the African National Congress, prompting investigators to conduct a discreet operation at one of the president's private properties. There, officers reportedly uncovered hidden safes and concealed spaces built into walls and beneath floorboards, where bundles of local and foreign currency, some still sealed, were found, amounting to what investigators have called an unexplained fortune. One officer, speaking anonymously, claimed this was no minor discovery but millions in rand and foreign notes, meticulously hidden, suggesting a deliberate effort to keep the funds concealed. As news of the raid spread, social media platforms erupted in outrage. Hashtags such as #RamaphosaRaid, #HiddenCash, and #ANC Exposed surged across timelines as citizens expressed fury, calling the discovery yet another example of corruption at the highest levels of government. Many questioned how a president who frequently spoke about combating corruption could be linked to hidden cash inside his own home, with one viral post asking how the nation could trust a leader who seemed to embody the misconduct he condemned. Political opposition parties quickly seized the moment, demanding full accountability. Democratic Alliance leader John Steenhuisen called for an immediate independent investigation into the origin of the funds, while the economic freedom fighters declared the ANC a house built on lies and looted money. Inside Parliament, tensions spiked, with ANC members either refusing to comment or privately admitting that the discovery could represent a breaking point for the party and the presidency. Many analysts drew parallels to the infamous Fela farm scandal, in which foreign currency hidden inside furniture at Ramaphosa's game farm was stolen, sparking global headlines. Although he previously defended himself by stating the money came from legitimate livestock sales, this new revelation has reopened old wounds and revived doubts about his integrity, leading some observers to label the incident Fela 2.0, only more serious because this money was allegedly found in his private residence rather than a business property. Speculation is now rampant about whether the president was aware of the money in his home or whether members of his inner circle concealed it without his knowledge, either possibility proving damaging for a leader long credited as a reformer committed to transparency. Sources within the investigative unit described the operation as delicate and meticulously planned, noting that the discovery is part of a broader probe into money laundering and corruption networks linked to multiple ANC-affiliated entities. Investigators are tracing serial numbers and analyzing the origins of the foreign currency to determine whether it moved through illegal channels. One insider emphasized the sophistication of the hidden compartments, which were embedded into the structure of the house, suggesting long-term planning rather than a spontaneous attempt to stash cash. These findings have heightened suspicions that the incident is part of a larger, coordinated corruption scheme rather than an isolated case. Inside ANC headquarters at Luthuli House, reports suggest panic has set in. Senior party officials have held urgent closed-door meetings to strategize damage control as the scandal widens. Deep divisions within the party appear to be intensifying, with some urging Ramaphosa to address the allegations publicly, while others argue that silence might buy time until law enforcement agencies release their findings. Yet the president's continued silence has only fueled speculation and deepened public distrust. Opposition parties, civil society groups, and anti-corruption organizations are calling for his immediate suspension pending a full investigation. Transparency watchdogs have filed formal requests under South Africa's financial accountability laws, demanding a complete explanation for the hidden funds. For many citizens, the revelation feels like a personal betrayal. At a time when unemployment remains high, inflation is rising, and the cost of living continues to crush households, the discovery of millions of rand hidden in the president's home has ignited widespread anger. Protests have erupted across Johannesburg, Cape Town, Durban, and other major cities, with demonstrators demanding justice and chanting that no one, not even the president, should be above the law. One protester captured public sentiment during a live television interview, stating that an ordinary citizen would have been arrested immediately and questioning why the president should receive different treatment. Analysts believe the scandal could shape the future of Ramaphosa's presidency. If evidence shows he knew about or benefited from the funds, he could face impeachment and potentially criminal charges. Insiders suggest other properties linked to high-ranking officials are also under quiet investigation, indicating this may be the beginning of a much larger corruption crisis within the ruling party. Ramaphosa, once viewed as the ANC's reformer and the leader who would cleanse the party of corruption, now faces the collapse of the image he carefully built. With the ANC already weakened by years of internal conflict, some senior members fear lasting damage to the party's credibility ahead of upcoming elections, while rivals within the party may use the scandal to try to remove him. His allies insist the investigation should proceed without prejudice, but pressure continues to mount both domestically and internationally. The scandal has reignited long-standing debates about entrenched corruption in South Africa's political system. Many now see the discovery as symptomatic of a deep-rooted culture of impunity among political elites. The ANC's inconsistent handling of corruption cases has fueled disillusionment and anger, prompting civil society groups to call for sweeping reforms to strengthen independent investigative bodies and improve financial oversight. Meanwhile, the media continues uncovering new details, adding layers of complexity and suspicion. International observers are watching closely, concerned about the scandal's impact on political stability and the economy. Economists warn that failure to address the situation transparently could further erode investor confidence and add pressure to the currency. Comparisons have been made to scandals involving former President Jacob Zuma, with many South Africans wondering whether the cycle of corruption will ever be broken. The ANC, once celebrated for its role in the liberation struggle, now finds itself at a crossroads, facing both public fury and internal strife as factions debate whether Ramaphosa remains the party's best hope for reform or has become a liability. Rumors circulate about potential successors if he is forced to resign, creating an atmosphere of uncertainty across government structures. Investigators continue analyzing the recovered banknotes, cross-referencing serial numbers with international databases. Early indications suggest some of the currency may be tied to overseas accounts connected to private companies with historical ANC links. If confirmed, the investigation could widen dramatically, potentially implicating more high-profile individuals. Legal experts predict a lengthy and complex judicial process that could involve multiple political leaders. As one investigative source noted, "We are only scratching the surface. What we have found so far might just be the beginning." Whether the discovery represents a misunderstanding, a politically motivated setup, or the exposure of a deeply embedded corruption network remains unknown. What is certain is that South Africa stands at a defining moment, with the scandal shattering any belief that top leadership is insulated from wrongdoing. As protests intensify, investigations expand, and international scrutiny grows, citizens wait anxiously for answers, hoping that justice will prevail, no matter how uncomfortable the truth may be.